What's going on? This is No Comment Podcast, show, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so I told you guys I was going to do a KOD review, and that's what I have Kev here for.
What up, guys?
We are probably the only J. Cole fans.
Alright.
Alright, so what is there to really say about KOD? There's so much shit, because I bought the CD because I enjoyed it so much, but now at this point, I just listen to it so much that I recognize every lyric, right? So, do you want to really even get into, do you understand, like, the whole concept behind KOD?
Yeah, I mean,
like, how it's like, kill our demons, and then kids on drugs, and then king overdose, stuff like that.
So, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of, like, how I feel about KOD. It's not 2014. For people who, who are hoping that it would be, like, on par with it or anything like that, I would say that I'm a big J. Cole fan. I like For Your Eyes Only. It is better than that, just like between musically and artistically and just like as a whole project. It is better than that in my opinion. It's not 2014 though, right? I do like it. I like the message it sends.
Right.
I like the change of tone between a lot of like what you're listening to mainstream right now in hip hop, anyways. And I am a J. Cole fan, so like I was kind of expecting a little bit of that tone.
I mean, so when KOD came out, I expected it to be, if anything, I expected it to be very J. Cole, because think about it, he put out 2014 Forest Hill Drive, so I was like, okay, this is super J. Cole because it's very personal, right? What makes it really personal is the fact that he doesn't have features. If you don't have a feature in a song, it makes it that much more personal because you're the only person rapping, right? Then he put out 4 Your Eyes Only, and I was like, I don't know if he's talking about himself or his friend. It was confusing, so that kind of knocked off some points for me. But then this came out. The reason I like KOD so much is because it gives you some J. Cole. So when I don't want to listen to bullshit like Rich the Kid or like Smoke Perp and Lil Pump and all these people that come on the radio, J. Cole's the only source I have where I'm like, yo, I need some real rap. I need somebody just ranting, but that knows how to rhyme at the same time.
Aside from that, is like I like somebody who's gonna like give me a story, right? Like I like somebody who's gonna like paint a picture in my mind when I'm listening to an album, right? Or when I'm listening to a song, really. I don't knock the new artists nowadays. I don't like a lot of their shit, but kind of like what J. Cole is saying on this, like. I respect him. Yo, you making money doing your shit, go ahead. Like, do what you gotta do. I respect that. But when it comes to just pure artistry and just, like, enjoying the actual song and, like, being able to follow a story through a song, that's what I like. That's one of the things I like about this album.
A big thing that I realized about KOD is that it gives you J. Cole because he's being very personal. He's talking about his situations, like for the interlude where he talks about his mom, how his stepfather just cheated on his mom and had a child, so she's drunk calling him. That's very personal. But at the same time, he gives you so many songs like ATM and Motivate that has elements of trap rap.
Even KOD. I mean, even
KOD.
Like, that's one of the great things about this album in general. It's like, it is a very J. Cole album, right? So you're going to get that personal touch. You're going to get that storytelling. You're going to get that, it almost feels like an older brother or an uncle, like, telling you, like, how to, like, just, like, going through life type shit. I personally like that. I get when other people don't. That being said, it has a lot of modern tones to it. Like, it has, like, the KOD, even Kevin's Heart. Kevin's Heart sounds like some dope ass shit. Kevin's Heart is probably my favorite track on the album. But, Kevin's Heart, Motivate, you got ATM, you got KOD, there's a good amount of songs where even, like, modern day hip hop fans, who don't fuck with the storytelling as much or anything like that.
It doesn't matter because you have the flow.
Because you have the flow, you have the beat, you have the you just in like.
I don't want to compare it. I'm not going to compare it to Damn in that aspect, but I'll compare it to Damn in the sense that Damn still gives you storytelling and a whole bunch of deep shit, but it gives you bumpable tracks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Humble talks about something and it also makes you want to jump. Lust, same thing. Love, same thing. All that. And KOD is the same thing. KOD gives you all those deep meanings in each song, but you can still bump to it. Like ATM, like Motivate. I honestly do think Motivate is a filler song. I love Motivate. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a hot track. But in terms of the entire album, it has nothing to do with the album. It's just him saying, like, motivate to get money. So let's just go into the first track, intro. It starts off by just saying, like, a baby has two forms of communication. One is laughter to show that it enjoys it, and then one is crying to show that it's either frightened or pain. And then he says, choose wisely. So choose wisely on how you want to deal with this pain. And I guess that's where the kids on drugs aspect comes in, and also kill our demons. So for those of you, I really went in depth with this. For those of you that don't understand this part, when he says choose wisely, he's really saying when you have pain and you're dealing with pain in your life, how are you going to deal with it? You can either kill your demons, which is basically facing them up front to deal with the conflict, or you could be like kids on drugs, utilizing drugs to run away from your fears or everything that you're dealing with.
Now, one of the things that when I listened to it, and I didn't get this the first time I listened to the album, it took maybe like the second or third time to understand it a little bit better, but he's obviously saying that, demons is not just, bad shit happening. Demons can be the addiction to money, right? Demons can be, like in Photograph, he's talking about a dude who, or dudes in general, how we get caught up with girls on social media, or just like getting caught up on Instagram and shit like that. Like that's a demon in itself. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying that
in terms of like lust and greed, right?
Correct, exactly.
So it's like the 7 sins could be like all your demons.
Right, exactly.
Really, how you can deal with that.
So it's just about choosing the path of how you want to deal with that type of shit.
Right. One big issue I have with this album is the album title song, KOD. You would think that if you're naming, because the album is so deep and it's so informational and all this stuff, you'd assume that the title track of All would be something where, it would either tie in everything that he's talking about in the album and also give you a little bit more. But it's stupid because KOD is really just him talking about everybody asking, it's a whole bunch of questions. So this whole song is really just based on people asking him, how come you don't have features in your album? He ties it up by just saying, nobody's worth being a feature on my album.
See, I'm not getting that vibe, and I've heard people say that. I'm not getting that. I'm getting the more of he's looking at these dudes who are coming up now, right? I'm not gonna say any names and shit like that, but he's looking at dudes that are coming up now, and he's just like, yo, look, I get what you're doing, but I don't give a fuck with what you're saying because I don't even consider you that much of an artist. I don't really give a shit what you're saying about my music. I know what I'm doing with my music. Get the fuck off my dick. He even says that in KOD. He's you don't even deserve to be on my dick.
Yeah.
Hop off my shit because I'm just my music is just different than yours, and
even if I brought you wouldn't be able to add anything.
Correct. You have no reason to be on my shit.
Okay. At the end of that song, he talks about power, greed, money, Molly, weed, perks, Xannies, lean, fame, and the strongest drug of them all, love. Corny, very, very fucking corny. But it gives you the it sets the mood for the next song, which is Photograph. The main thing I like is the flow. How does the flow go? Shit. How does the flow for Photograph go?
Oh fuck.
Something.
Oh yeah. You don't get caught up in that.
That shit's hot.
No, it's hot.
And it gives me a very look at me XXX Tentacion flow. So it lets you know when I was listening to his album is like I said, it gives you deep meanings, but it's just funny that for somebody throughout this album who shows his distaste for the new upcoming rappers, right?
Right.
He's kind of taking a lot of elements that they have in their song and putting it into his.
But I feel
so it shows you that he's learning.
I don't think he's learning. I think he did that on purpose. I think he did that to show I can take your shit and be better than you at it.
And put meaning to it.
Correct.
Does, yeah.
Correct. Exactly. That's how I took it. And that's one of the reasons why I like Cole, because I think that's what he does. Before we even talk about Photographs, I actually didn't like the intro. I felt like the intro was almost redundant. I feel like he could have almost.
Oh, fell in love.
No. Oh, the intro of the album. The intro, track one.
Baby?
I felt like it was redundant, and you could have taken that off, and you still would have understood the premise of the album in terms of you have to choose what way you're gonna live your life.
Right.
So I personally didn't like the intro. Photographs. I kind of touched on this before. How it's basically talking about how. Dudes be getting caught up. I do like the song a lot. I think KOD to Brackets is probably all of those shits are hot. So I think that's the best run of songs on the whole thing. The other thing about the album, there's only 12 tracks. Right. 12 tracks on it.
Technically 11 because the last track is not even an outro.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So So it's that. So that kind of hurt. I was expecting a little bit more.
Talk about the cutoff though. I have a big problem with the cutoff.
Why?
Because the cutoff is a great freaking song.
I like it.
Overall, cutoff. He's talking about just people dealing with people that are disloyal to him and how much he hates it and how much he has urges to like make you feel pain and all this stuff.
Oh, cutoff, yeah. Oh my
But
God.
I
hate it.
The flow that he does in the very beginning. I hate that flow. I hate it. I forgot how it goes though. Give me a drink, give me some, give me that, give me that. I don't like that shit,
and then like he ends it with I don't know, like
I don't know, yeah.
It's just I think that
it
shit was
ruins
so
such
bad.
a great song though. It ruins such a great song because what he's talking about in that song is so personal and it really like hits you because you're just like wow.
The other shit that fucked me up about it is there's only one verse. It's like
there's
only one. There's
and
only
then it goes right
fucking,
into give me a drink, give me some.
And like it starts with that, it's a verse, and then it ends with that.
But
and
I like
the
time will tell.
Yeah, see, I like that. I do like
that part is good.
It's just I think Cutoff's a good song that has a good meaning. I just don't like that.
Overall, that song is really just talking about like he realized that he was giving a lot of himself to others and not really getting any in return. And what about like in terms of like, because I know people are gonna ask this is like, what's the point of having this Kill Edward guy in it? It's obviously his alter ego.
Right.
Only way I looked at it for this song is like Cole is like the very calm, collected. He wants to retaliate and beat the shit out of you for disloyalty.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna let God do that. I'm gonna let the Lord do that. And Kill Edward is kind of like, give me a drink, give me some. He's like the opposite. He's the polar opposite. He's the one that wants to use drugs and to deal with this sort of situation.
So I saw it a little differently. I think Kill Edward actually has to do with his stepfather. I think who like
because his stepfather was probably like an alcoholic.
His stepfather was an alcoholic. Used to beat his mom. That's remember like on one of the later tracks we have where he talks about his mom calling him drunk.
Interlude. Yeah,
correct. So I think it's a little bit. I think it's kind of going back to his stepfather, where he's like, just give me drink, give me smoke, like get me high, because that's what like. If you listen to like older tracks, I know that it was on 2014. Like that's kind of like who his stepfather was. There's a song where I forgot the name of it, but it's one of my favorite J. Cole songs, and he talks about how he would love to just square up with his stepdad because like his stepdad just like for all the shit that his stepdad did to his mother and like, mistreating her and shit like that.
Wow, did not know that. That's a new way to look at it. Yeah. All right, then we got ATM, and it's very energetic. It's like one of the more trappy songs of the whole bunch next to Motivate. Has a very Migos type of flow to it. At least that's what I'm counting the residual. Like that's a very Migos flow. And kind of saw it as just kind of like what you said. It's like, hey, I can take what you do and add meaning to it. And that part is hot though. Count it up. You can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it. That's hot.
I took that song as like, that was the song where I started thinking like this is kind of the song where he's just like, I'm gonna take your shit, I'm gonna put meaning to it, I'm gonna sound like you motherfuckers, I'm gonna make a song that sounds like you dudes, just something about counting up money and shit like that. Like the whole song, like the hook on the song is count it up, like right. So I'm gonna sound like you motherfuckers, but I'm gonna make that shit so much fucking
and tie it to the album
and tie it to what I preach about all that, like all the time.
Of course. So there's not much to say about ATM.
ATM's hot, yeah. ATM's hot. Also, the video's really, really hot. I love Busta Rhymes, and it reminded me everything about Busta, like old school Busta. Missy with the fucking fisheye and the zoom in, and it was hot. It was hot.
Then we got Motivate. At first, I didn't like Motivate at all because I was like, this is like just a filler song. It is still a filler song, but I love it now because it has the Get Money sample in it, and I thought that was hot. It has also like the very trappy flow too.
I mean, there's not much to say about it. I do like Motivate a lot, and I also think that it's a good song to lead into my favorite song, which is gonna be Kevin's Heart.
That is you saw the video for that?
Yeah, like
you got Kevin Hart.
Like because it was just dope. It's so I like Motivate. I don't think it is a filler song. I can kind of see where you would feel that way. But yeah, I think it's dope.
Now Kevin's Heart, there's a lot to say about this because not only is it one of the hottest songs, Sleep Me as Any at Once. I got
somebody, you hear that shit? The first time I heard that shit, I was like, bro.
Look,
that shit is hot.
We have Rich IC behind the camera. If you're gonna listen to anything on that album, listen to Kevin's Heart because Kevin's Heart is one of those songs like. And I'm gonna get into the meaning of Kevin's Heart because Kevin's Heart has like 3 different meanings.
Man, it's a good song, man.
Do you think it's talking about him having urges to cheat on his girl or his addiction to drugs? Because some people were saying it's addiction to drugs, and it's also talking about like it could be just a whole song about him cheating on his
I mean, again, I'm gonna go back to this is kind of talking about like getting rid of your demons and having like to when you have someone that appreciates you and that you appreciate as well, like to go out and like cheat on her is a demon itself. But then you can also kind of look at it as like, bro, like especially as someone who's fucking famous. Like people just throwing themselves at me. Like shit's not as easy as people make it seem.
Look, that song alone is hot. I'm still not tired of it yet. I play it every single time.
Yeah,
like I said,
bumping over it.
Somebody
like that shit is so hot.
So then I have actually one of my favorite songs. Believe it or not. At first I was like, what is this? At first when I listened to it, I was like, Brackets. At first I was like, this is a great song. But then I listened to it again and I memorized the whole second verse. The whole taxes part is great. Yeah, all you get from Brackets, if I have to really summarize it into like one sentence, is whatever you do, you just can't avoid taxes and death. That's all I can say. I say democracy is too fucking slow. If I'm giving y'all this hard-earned bread, I want to know. Better yet, let me decide, bitches. 2018. Let me pick the things I'm funding from an app on my screen, which is actually a really hot line. Yeah, if you really think about it, why can't we decide where our taxes go? Honestly, because the richer you get, people don't seem to understand is like the richer you get, yes, you get more money, but your expenses go up and your taxes go up. And then he talks about how there's a mom who has a child that did so good in the white man's school, and then he has another son that's lost in the streets, and then she's wiping her tears because her son just got shot in the head, and right as soon as she's leaving, wiping her eyes and putting her sunglasses to go to the funeral, she forgot to file her taxes. Damn. That's hot.
So I like the song a lot too. Brackets is hot. It starts off with a fucking great Richard Pryor. I love Richard Pryor, and he's talking about like he's doing a live stand up, and he's telling the crowd, "I'm making so much fucking money. If I told my father how much money I make, he's like, you's a lying motherfucker." Like that shit is mad funny.
Like get the fuck out of here.
Joe Louis ain't make that much money. Like that shit mad funny. And then in the middle of the song, there's a part where
Uncle Sam?
Exactly.
I didn't realize like Uncle Sam. I didn't hear him say Uncle Sam.
He's just like it's like somebody like about to pay taxes, I believe, and they're just like
he's literally just talking to his aunt. And then he makes all the money, and then Uncle Sam calls. He's like, "What up, Unc? Yeah, I told you I was gonna get this money. I told you I was gonna give it to you. But anyways, how much was it again? Half. Half, you crazy motherfucker.
You better
have my dick.
Yo, that shit is mad funny too.
It's great. And then it goes into the taxes part.
Yeah. And then the taxes verse is right after that.
But Brackets is really just tax brackets, but that's a great song in general. It's one of my favorite songs.
You missed Once an Addict.
Oh, that's the interlude. We're talking about the interlude now. Once an addict, always an addict. Talking about his mom calling him all the time. And this is basically where the Kill Our Demons aspect comes into the album because he even says it. He's like, okay, my mom keeps calling me, but thank God I finally go to college and I go to dorm. I can leave all this shit behind. She's not gonna call me anymore. Even when he's dorming, she blows up his phone every night.
So I want to say something real quick. So I said it before. KOD to Brackets, I think is the best part of the whole album, right? Like you can listen to all those songs through, and even people who don't like J. Cole, I feel would like those songs. Now, when you start getting to these last 4 songs specifically, Once an Addict, Friends, Window Pane, and 1985, those 4 songs are very, very J. Cole songs, right? Like, they are very J. Cole. They're very personal songs. You're gonna get things talking about his mom. You're gonna get things talking about like being poor and having to do what you got to do, and you're gonna get very J. Cole. It's gonna feel like For Your Eyes Only, which is again why I say KOD to Brackets is probably the best part. I love the bottom part of the album, but for people who don't like J. Cole, I can definitely see why they wouldn't like that part of the album.
Start with the
KOD to Brackets. KOD to Brackets, sorry. Yeah, KOD to Brackets.
Start from that to Kevin's Heart, because I feel like people wouldn't like Brackets because It's brackets is just him ranting, but I love when J. Cole rants because
yeah, but brackets has the Richard Pryor part. It has the other part in the middle to like almost like lighten it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like not make it so much of a J. Cole type shit.
Friends is great too.
Friends is a good song. Yeah.
Friends is really just him talking about addiction and saying like you could blame this, you could blame the system, you could blame this. But I think that song is specifically tackling all three of the aspects, which is kids on drugs, kill our demons, etc., etc., etc. There's not really much to say about Friends. It's really just a homage to his friends who he bleeps out or reverses the words. Then we go into Window Pane, which is really just talking about maybe social issues and also this little girl that he meets that got shot. That her cousin got shot in the head.
Her cousin got shot in the head in front of her.
In the stomach.
Correct. In the head, neck, and stomach, right in front of her. And so he basically he's the one doing the interview with the little girl. Yeah. And so he's just asking her like, you know, what happened, how's it feel? And he does the interview in the beginning of the song, and then he does the interview at the end of the song. He finishes the interview asking the little girl like,
why do bad things happen?
Why do bad things happen? And then the girl's like, oh, you know, it's because God is trying to teach us a lesson. Again, a very correct, a very J. Cole-esque song. And that's the reason. Again, if you don't like it, I get it. I personally do like it.
It's just a very deep song. It's not something you would ever want to bump, ever. But it does have that one part that's actually bumpable, where it's like, all I want to see is my granny on the other side. All I want to do is touch a platinum plaque and celebrate. All I want to do. That part's hot. But like he just said, not a beginner J. Cole fan song, but it's a great freaking song. Never undermine that part. Let's go into the last part, 1985.
Probably the song that has gotten...
Biggest misconception ever.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, so people are being mad stupid about this shit.
He blatantly says it in the song.
Like he's...
That
okay.
It's not a diss.
So, alright. First of all...
says it in the song that's
First of all, you gotta understand this guy. First of all, J. Cole's a little older. Like, he's older than a lot of the new niggas that are coming out now anyways, right? He's 33. He was born in... He was born in 85. Right? So he's either 33 or about to be 33. So he's older. He's kind of talking to them like if they were like either a little brother or even like an uncle. Like that's
or just someone he wants to give advice to.
Correct. Or just someone who's an older head in the rap game and he's just and the song itself he's going about the song talking about, look, I respect you making money.
I hope you make enough to get out your mama house.
Correct, there we go.
I hope you make enough to make it to buy your mama house.
To buy your mama house, right. So it's not a diss. Nope. He's literally just talking to these young rappers and being like, yo, look.
He said go on tour.
He's like, yo, I respect you making money. I respect to see young black people strive. I love seeing you guys going on tour and making doing all the shit that you guys are doing. But you have to understand the impact that you have on the culture, which is absolutely true. You have to understand that he says in the song
too. White boys love that you don't give a fuck.
These white boys love that you don't give a fuck because that's what they expect because of the color of your skin, which is 100% true.
And to be honest, he even says they probably want to be black because they look at you. So when you turn up, you see him turning up too.
And I 100% agree with Cole. You know, he's not dissing them. Pump is being stupid as fuck. Responding, talking about you attacking the what do you say? You bullying the 17-year-olds? Some shit like that. Some bullshit.
He really doesn't say anything, bro.
Bro, he's just giving you guys advice. You don't even gotta listen to it.
There's two big lines that he says.
Like nothing. He's literally looking after you. You don't gotta listen to it. You don't gotta follow it. All he's just saying it as an old head. That's it.
You think this type of money, you think this type of revenue is never ended, but I want to take a minute just to tell you that ain't true. Basically just saying like, I'm just letting you know right now, if you really want to make money in this rap game, go on tour as much as you can, save up that bread.
Correct.
Because one day these listeners are going to grow up, then your shows are going to slow up, and then you're going to realize that your money is going to slow up.
And he's absolutely right.
And
he's absolutely right.
That whole song is golden,
bro.
It's golden advice, bro.
Correct. I think it's the perfect way to end this album as well.
But it's an intro though.
It ends this album, but then it says in parentheses it says intro to the fall off. And on Twitter, someone asked him, they were like, "Yo, like, what's good with the fall off? When are we getting it?" And he said, he's working on it. So stay tuned to that.
And he also said he's gonna give more stuff for Kill Edward, so there might potentially be more Kill Edward songs.
Yep.
you can keep that shit because
Yeah, I didn't really like
the hooks he did with Kill Edward, I don't care. It's just him with a deeper voice.
It was funny because people were like, "Oh, like who the fuck is this guy who's featured on his album? Like it's his first feature in like 2-3 albums." And then it's him.
Let's give an overall perspective of this album and then give it a rating.
I mean, kind of going back to like how I started this. You know, I think it's a good album. It's not 2014 good. It's a little short. You know, it has modern influences, right? Like it has a lot of songs that you could bump to. And then it has for the, you know, the J. Cole fans that just like to listen to deeper shit like myself, it has those songs too. I would give the album somewhere along like 8 to 8.2, right around there. So a good album, not a bad album at all. It again, it's not 2014, but it is better than For Your Eyes Only.
And two big things: does it have replay value and longevity?
I mean, I think KOD to Brackets has high replay value. Longevity, I mean, we'll find out.
Well,
I think if you're a fan of J. Cole, you're gonna listen to it like myself. Like I mean,
it's all we have for
right?
like 2 years.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
He's gonna go Ghost for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Frank Ocean Ghost, but he's gonna go Ghost for a little bit.
I was clinging on to False Prophets and Everybody Dies for the longest.
I
still listen to it nowadays today. I'm giving this album an 8.5 mainly because even though it is a full-length project for J. Cole, it still feels like an EP because it's so short.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many things that he could have added to the album. Because some of the songs, like Friends and like Cut Off, only have one verse where he could have added so much.
A lot of the songs are
It's
short,
very personal, but it could be even more personal. And that's a big thing for me. But like you said, takes a lot of modern hip hop that we listen to nowadays, like trap rap, and puts it into his own style and gives you the deep meanings and storytelling. Look, this project is great. All I can say is I'm just hoping that he puts out something more, gives me maybe throwaway tracks. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe it was short on purpose because he has the intro track at the end. He did say he's probably gonna drop the Fall Off sometime in
hopefully
the
soon.
year, maybe next year. So I'm looking forward to that. Look, KOD is great. Does it have longevity? I honestly do think so because that stretch from KOD to Brackets, which is like about a 6 to 7 song stretch, is a great stretch. That's the majority of that album.
Yeah, it's 2 to 8, so that's 7 songs.
But I don't want to compare it to Forest Hill Drives or For Your Eyes because it's completely different. But I think it's a great album. I'm giving it 8.5 right now. That's subject to change because as I listen to it more, there's a lot of things that I'm starting to not like or like even more. Is there anything else to say about KOD?
No, man. I mean, again, like if you're not a big J. Cole fan, I would recommend, you know, just listening to KOD to Brackets. You don't even have to listen to those last 4 because you're not gonna like them if you're not already a J. Cole fan. Just listen to. I would say, you know, if you want to listen to the album, at least listen to those, and then see how you like it. But that's about it.
Hey, appreciate you for being in the video, man. And make sure you share it to your dog, and make sure to subscribe on YouTube and Instagram, which I'm gonna put at the bottom. And I'll throw your Instagram handle in there too. And shouts out to Shady, who helped out with the last video. Shout out to Rich Icy, who is right behind the camera, which I'm going to throw right down here somewhere. Alright? But that's KOD album review. Try to make it short as possible. And this is No Comment. Peace out.